Hi, and welcome to another video for Little Miss Vape from littlemissvape.wordpress.com. Today I will be doing a review of Vaping Vision and the AGA T2. Now, here's my AGA T2 on top of my UDTL. Now, Vaping Vision is quite a local site to me actually, because they're based in Bexhill, which is good for some things and not for others. I originally ordered the AGA T2 and it didn't arrive. So after a few emails back and forth, the loveliness that is James at Vaping Vision, he brought round a T2 to me, and very nice it was too. Thank you very much, James, that was brilliant. So, as you can see, when you look at the T2, unlike the AGA T, it doesn't have the knurling around the bottom, and instead of having a twist-on cap, it has a press-on cap. Oh, there goes that. So, it makes it a lot easier to ensure that your air hole is lined up correctly. Now, this is a really nicely made piece of kit. It's got a really nice thick tube. It's really well put together. As you can see at the top, you've got your usual screws. I've got an SS wick in there at the moment, and it seems to work really well on that, but you can use either a silica U-wick or an SS U-wick. It depends completely on what you want to use. So, as you can see, when you look on the side of one of these things, there's actually a fill hole as well. Now, I'm going to be filling mine with Arctic Cherry, as you can tell by my blunt syringe. So, in the hole. See, it fills up really nicely and really easily. I'd say that's 2, maybe 2.5 mil. So it doesn't actually hold as much as you'd want, but it's really useful if you want to use it and change flavours partway through, because it means you can use one flavour and then you can change to another flavour, etc, etc. Now, I've decided to use an SS wick for this because the SS wicks last slightly longer. They don't burn so quickly, and when you oxidise them you get a better flavour. Now, as you can see, I'm using it on my UDTL, my backup kit for everything, and it doesn't look too bad. It looks really rather nice. I mean, it seems to be tailored quite well for a slightly smaller mod. I've got my lovely drip tips out on top. I really do like my stainless steel drip tips, I must say. Just getting off all the bits on the outside, because you do get a little bit of leakage sometimes, but I think that's pretty normal with anything when you fill it up. You just have to be really careful. And that just sounds so wrong and looks so wrong. So, let's give it a go. Best make sure, to be quite honest, that I've got my air hole lined up, because that will help quite a lot. Air holes lined up. The best place to put your air hole is near your wick, but so it's either just before or just after, because that's where you get the best airflow through, and it also helps when you're vaping. I've got quite a thin drip tip on here, so I'm not expecting too much to come out. As you can see, even with a thin drip tip, you still get quite a lot of vapour out of it. And it's quite nice because the vapour's not too hot. There's not too much throw hit, although I suppose if you make a higher ohm coil and use it at a different voltage, then you will get a higher throw hit. It's quite good. Let me just adjust my air hole to the other side. Actually works better, that's really good. Now, I love my T2 because now it's set up with its stainless steel wick, it's pretty much, you can leave the wick in there. All you really need to do is change the coil when it pops. The best way to change it is to get a, say like a needle or a paper clip that's been straightened, put your coil round that, then put the coil onto the stainless steel wick. Let me just show. You put your coil onto your wick and it will go straight down it, and it will also ensure that it's either not too tight or it's not too loose, and that always improves what you're going to get out of it. I mean, look, that's just a good wick going on there. Also, I'm quite proud of that. Now, Vaping Vision, this was actually a really good price as well. I mean, I suspect you're going to be paying between around, I think it's usually about 15 or more. I mean, I'm just going to have a check on their website, see how much Vaping Vision actually charge for their AGA T2. Should have done this before, really, to be quite honest, but I forgot. Their T2 is $17.99 actually, and in the kit you get the ATI, you get a spare O-ring so you can change the ones that are on here, you get a little bit of wire, you get a bit of mesh, and you get a spare screw just in case you lose it. The best way I found not to lose your screws, excuse me, is to either get a little bit of blue tack or something similar and press your screws into it. Like so. And then you can pop it on your side, pop it on your computer, pop it in your vape tin, and you know that your screws are going to be safe. I mean, that's the best way I found of doing it.
You can sell it to me.
It's quite a heavy atomizer, which is really nice because it's really sturdy, and it can take a lot of damage basically. And on most mods you put it on, it does actually look quite nice. I mean, if I set it up on my Vamo, which I'm about to do right now. Sorry about this. If I set it up on my Vamo, again you can see it's well tailored to fit. It goes quite snugly on there, which looks quite nice. But the thing with it as well, I mean, you can use it on really loads of different batteries and things like that, because it has got a native 510 connection, and it's a really nice little connection. I mean, I would prefer it on my UDTL because then it just blows through, and to me it looks really nice. It's really ergonomic, it's really well designed, and it does look quite nice as well. So, Vaping Vision, even though you had problems with the postage, you still get a massive thumbs up for me for going above and beyond customer service by delivering to me by hand my AGA T2. Now, I absolutely adore this thing. I don't use it very often because sometimes it can be a pain, but I think for the next few days I'm going to carry on using it because I quite like it. I much prefer it to my AGA T, because it's not got the knurling on it, it's not got a screw fit top, and it's much easier to ensure that your air hole's lined up, and that's possibly one of the most important things with this ATI, is to make sure there's enough air holes in there. I mean, if you're worried about SS wicks, there's plenty of information on UK Vapors, and you can also find YouTube videos about making an SS wick, sorting out your coils. But what I will say is, before you test it on anything that isn't regulated, please use something that has a multimeter so you can test your coil, otherwise it will pop. Now, this is Little Miss Vape saying goodbye and happy vaping.